organizing competitions within the prisons. There's nothing wrong in that. The law permits it. The law permits them to organize cultural shows and the rest. But they don't have to publicize it to the point of now bringing it out for those of us who are not in prison to take part in cultural activities, to be able to even go to school within the prison, especially people who are waiting trial like her. The law does not see her as somebody who is already convicted. She's not convicted. No matter how bad her case is, she's not a convict. So people play football, they organize football matches inside the prison. I remember when people like Yaradua, Sheikh Musa Yaradua were Kirikiri prison, they used to organize football matches, for the inmates, just to make them happy and even improve their humanity. But what these people did that I feel sad about is to now bring it out in the open, announce that this competition took place, because they play football in the prison, but they don't come out to tell us these are the winners of the football tournament in the prison. But somebody, a controversial figure who is accused of killing someone, who has not proven her case, is not guilty, has now won a competition, the pageant in prison. You now splash the picture on newspaper pages. I mean, people should be sensitive about matters like this. How do they expect Chidima to feel to see her wearing makeup, doing catwalk in prison, and then you brought the picture for all to see? What kind of high service or were they trying to do just for people to see them that they are doing something? Nigerians should understand that there are certain behaviors that they cannot defend. Yes, there's nothing wrong in organizing a cooperation between prisoners. I've already said it, that they are even permitted. We've seen people in prison who went to school while in prison. There are people who do UTME, who do JAMB inside the prison. There are people who become graduates inside the prison. So this kind of activities, cultural activities, is permitted by law within the prisons. So, for example, people like this girl, Chidima, who had not been convicted, they are even allowed to wear their own personal wares. They are allowed to eat their own food instead of eating the famous prison beans while in the prison, because they have not been convicted. So, because they have not been convicted, they are entitled to certain rights. So, if they were organizing this competition, it will be unfair to leave in the open. And I'm saying that in the past, football matches had been played in the prison, but the rest of those of us outside were not privy to the winners, and the pictures of the winners were not splashed on newspaper pages. So to do this, and when somebody extremely controversial like that is involved, is extremely unwholesome, is unfair on the family of the late TV proprietor. I mean, they should always think of how other people will feel about some of the actions that they take. Even based on what we have had in the course of the trial, it will be difficult for people to believe that Chidima didn't carry out this murder, because she was the one who sold Attacker's laptop. His MacBook Pro laptop was sold by her, and the person that she sold it to, a computer village, made sure that the transaction was not by cash, so they could trace her identity through that transaction alone. And there were other things that pointed to the fact that she knew something about the death of this man. People have read the way the man was went to the extent of even withdrawing about 380,000 from the man's ATM. Of course, there's record of this. So when people can read all of this, they're already convinced in their heart that this girl is a murderer. And it's that kind of girl that you organize a pageant, you got her involved, and after she won, you went out to splash the pictures on newspaper pages. That was downright irresponsible. It should have been kept there within the 4 walls of the prison. If what they were planning was simply to make these prisoners feel happy, make them feel like human beings, make them not feel really neglected, there's nothing wrong about that. But to bring it out, to come and announce to the world, and for people to see her wearing a dress that exposed part of her body, see her with lipsticks, putting on lipstick and catwalking. I mean, it revolts against the sensibilities of family and lovers of even well-wishers of Ataga, the man who was killed, said to have been killed by her. We in this case, I'm much more bothered about morality than anything else. And I think that a mistake has been made. I hope that they won't make this silly mistake next time. Nobody is saying that law does not permit her to take part in pageant within the prison. But don't come and splash the photographs on our pages. You know, that's not right.
I see nothing grievous has been committed, allegedly. But it looks like Evans is, I'm not sure where he's standing, but this is what he said. In law, political prisoners are not regarded as criminals, unlike a murder suspect.
No. Even those who are on death row, those who have been sentenced to death, were permitted to take part in those competitions. They are permitted to take part. It does not leave anyone out. They are permitted to take part in cultural activities. It does not leave anybody out, whether you are a political prisoner, whether you are an ordinary detainee, or you are a convict, or you've been sentenced to death. As long as your sentencing has not been carried out, you are permitted to take part in physical activities, cultural shows within the prison. That is the point that I'm making. Now, once you are convicted, you begin to wear that uniform. But people like her, who had not been convicted, who are just detainees, they do not have to wear the uniform, and they are permitted to eat food brought from outside by members of their family. So there are some rights that you have if you are awaiting trial, if you've not been convicted. That's the point that I'm making. But coming to whether people can play football matches or cultural shows, it does not leave out even people who have been convicted. Said organizing competitions within the prisons, there's nothing wrong in that. The law permits it. The law permits them to organize cultural shows and the rest. But they don't have to publicize it to the point of now bringing it out for those of us who are not in prison to see. And when it concerns someone like that, who is believed to have murdered her lover, of course they should know that people will be very angry when they see such things. That's the point that I made. I didn't say that it was right for them to do what they have done and then place it in the public space. No, organize it for them within the prison walls, but don't publicize it and make it a newspaper headline matter. If they desire to seek publicity, look at the mess that they have put themselves now. So that's the point. I'm not saying that I'm happy with what they have done. People should be able to understand what we are saying. That look, making them happy within prison, organizing fanfare for them, it's not a bad idea. People go to prisons to preach. Churches go there to preach. Churches go there to distribute gifts. But it does not make sense to come out in the open and splash the pictures in the media. What did they think they were trying to achieve? And that's what caused this controversy. Anyone who still feels pain about the way we lost Ataga will be very angry to see that girl sorting her stuff doing her catwalk and walking around. The person who died is
like
dead.
Nothing happened. Yeah.
Yes, you can't now be. It's like urinating on the grave of the dead to do what
Absolutely.
they have done.
Makes sense.
By splashing those pictures in the media. That is what I think they did that was wrong.
Yeah.